my name is Lou Ann Pygott. You're in my kitchen right now, and I'm going to start some good stuff going here. So, today I'm making riced cauliflower. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. Something different. And then I'm going to make squash, and I'm going to make my cinnamon apple cake. So for my cinnamon apple cake, I'm getting that ready real quick. I'm going to mix together, it starts with the eggs and the oil. So I need 2 eggs. And like I said, I've made this before, but I'm making it again, first of all, because it is so incredibly good. Here's my egg thing over here. And because this cake has no icing. It doesn't need icing. And I'm doing that for 2 reasons. 1, because it's quicker and easier. 2, because my mother is, and this is mostly who this is for, my mom and dad. My mother's trying to cut down her sugar a little bit. Not all the way down, but you know, she's trying to cut it a little bit. And so, this doesn't have any more sugar added to it. You know, it's no icing. So, there's 1 egg. So this will help a little bit. I'm just, you know, I'm trying to cut down things that I can for her to make things not, so, you know, a cake with no icing is not as sweet as if you added icing to it. I just plopped some of the egg down the side of the bowl. I don't know how I did that. There we go. All right, there's our 2 eggs. Let me throw this away over here because it's egg stuff in the eggs is always so messy. All right, let's pull this bowl up and mix that for a minute. Then we're going to add oil. We'll get those mixed. All right, so then we're going to add in, I am just doing the one, so this makes 1 9-inch round cake. So if you want like a full, so this basically makes like 1 layer of cake. If you want more than this, you're just going to have to double everything. So the oil, I'm going to add, where are you, oil? A cup of oil. And it says vegetable oil. I'm using canola oil. You can use whatever oil you would like to bake with. That bakes well. I usually don't use just vegetable oil. I use, I don't know, everything I hear, this oil's good, then it's not, then it's good. First I heard you should use canola oil, then I heard, oh, that's not good either. Well, it's cholesterol free. But then it's like, oh, that's not good for you either. Oh, every oil. Then they say olive oil is good for you. Then they say, oh, olive oil is only good if you don't heat it. So it's not good if you can't cook with it. And then the most recent thing I've heard is coconut oil. Then I've heard people say avocado oil. Then I've heard people say, oh, what's the other one? Maybe it was avocado oil. Somebody was telling me. Of course, the other ones are a lot more expensive, too. So this is what I have for now. That's what we're using for now. 1 cup of oil. Okay. There we go. So we're going to add this in and we're going to turn that back on. 1 cup of oil. Okay, so there we have that mixed together, the oil and the egg. So then we're going to add the cinnamon, the sugars, and the vanilla. Okay, so we're going to add a tablespoon of cinnamon. I'm going to just try to do it like, let me pull this back a little bit. You see what I'm doing, sort of. Otherwise, it's real boring. You can't see. Tablespoon of cinnamon. Here we go. It has a lot of cinnamon. Oh, so good. That's why this is so good. It's got so much cinnamon in it. That's why it's called cinnamon apple cake. All right, there's my cinnamon. Then we're going to add a cup of dark, oh, that's right, I got to get the dark brown sugar. I got the light one out. Let me get the dark brown sugar. I forgot this one uses dark brown. I forget it every time. Let me see where I can find it. Where did I put it? Here it is. Trying to see if I have one that's already open. I don't see that I do. Okay, dark brown sugar. I think it'll work if you don't. If you have light brown sugar, it'll still work. It's just got more flavor. Go dark brown sugar. They actually tape the box closed now. Look at that. Okay, here we go. Whoa! That is not what I want to happen at all. Stop that. Okay. Dark brown sugar. Okay, we need 1 cup of dark brown sugar. And dark brown sugar, or any brown sugar, you press it down in to measure. Press it tightly into the measuring cup. That is how to accurately measure brown sugar. It's not how you measure anything else, though. Not any other sugar or flour, you don't. Okay, we're getting close here. Just keep pressing it down. I think that's going to do it right there. Yep, there you go. There's your cup of brown sugar. And then you're going to have half a cup of white sugar. Put that in. There we go. I made all kind of a crummy mess over here. Sugar makes a sticky mess. I still have some egg white over here. I see the sugar is sitting in. That was cute. Oh, sorry, I'm bumping my... I didn't clean off my counter, so I have stuff in my way. That's why I'm bumping everything. Not working too well for me here. Okay, there's the brown sugar. So I'm getting half a cup of white sugar. Let me get a knife to level it off. So I've got my oven preheated to 350. Into the bowl. So then we're going to turn that on and stir those 2. And 3 actually. Cinnamon, brown sugar, and white sugar. Alright, so there we are. Then we're going to do, I'm actually going to move this because I have it done differently and it's not giving you a very good view. There, this needs to be raised higher. Okay, so then we have done that. Now we're going to add the flour, salt, baking soda, and you're going to mix and incorporate. So we're going to do, I'm just going to put it in there. You can put a half a cup of chopped walnuts in this if you want nuts. I don't like nuts, so I'm not putting it in there. So we're going to do, did I do the vanilla? I didn't do the vanilla. I was supposed to earlier, but that's not going to matter. We need a teaspoon of vanilla. I think I read it earlier too. I just didn't put it in. Teaspoon of vanilla. Mix it again real quick. All right, there we are. So now, here we go. Let's do 2 cups of flour. Here's my thing of flour. I actually have a 2-cup measuring thing. I absolutely love it. Makes it so much faster. So I'm going to take, though, before we do this, we're going to lighten up the flour, meaning we're going to unpack it. So we're going to take a whisk and real easily stir it around so that you can do this instead of sifting. Sifting flour was done to get it to where it wasn't packed down tight, and it lightened it up, and so you can do this instead. That lightens it so it's not packed. And then we're going to scoop up our 2 cups. I'm going to use our knife and level it all off. So we don't have too much. I think I needed a little bit more here. Try one more time, because it went a little under. There we go. There's my 2 cups. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing now. Oops, I'm going to put our 2 cups of flour into the bowl. This is the easiest cake to make. You will be like, this is the best cake. The best cake. It's so good. Still have a little touch there. There we go. So there's that. Let me get rid of my flour. Then we're going to add in a 1/2 teaspoon of each of these. 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, baking soda, and salt. Just get my flour nice and out of the way. Okay, 1/2 teaspoon. So easy when it's all the same. Of baking powder. 1/2 teaspoon. I don't know, something satisfying about that little thing that scrapes it off, isn't it? 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. This one I always use that little, I use that right there. Does everybody do that? Use that little piece of cardboard in there to scrape that one off. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I have a bunch of rice in my salt to keep it from clumping. So I will have to strain it through my strainer to get the rice out. This is what we do in Florida in the humidity. Keep our rice from, our salt from lumping up. A trick I have known since I was a kid. All right, so now stir it in. Nice and mixed. Now this is where you would add your 1/2 cup of walnuts if you wanted to put them in. You know what I'm going to do? This is what I've been doing and I forgot. I'm going to add 1/2 cup of raisins instead, because this is really good with raisins. Let me see, where's my 1/2 cup? Here it is. Let's do some raisins. If you want raisins, you can do raisins. Of course, now raisins will make it a little sweeter, but it's not a whole lot of them. But it doesn't tell you to put raisins, it tells you to put walnuts. Chopped walnuts. I suppose you could put chopped any kind of nut in there you wanted. And leave out the raisins if you don't want raisins. A lot of people don't like raisins. Just like I don't like walnuts. And this is my own addition. This is not actually in the recipe. But it is good if you like raisins. Okay, that's a little over the top, but if you like raisins, you don't care. I put those in. I'm gonna mix that around real quick. Okay, whoops, I had a little lump escape. And then one other thing I'm gonna put in here. Is there anything else I've missed? Flour, oil, brown sugar, white sugar, eggs, cinnamon, vanilla, baking powder, soda, salt. Okay, the only thing I have now left is 1 large chopped apple. I always do a Granny Smith apple because those are really good for cooking and baking. And see, I chopped it earlier and I covered it with a wet paper towel to keep it from browning. Isn't that cool? You can also just put it in a cup of water. But it wasn't going to be very long, so I just covered it with a wet paper towel. Keeps the air from getting to it while I was mixing. So now, there's my apple. It's going to look like it's more apple than batter. It will work though, trust me. So it's a really thick batter. And the apples it looks like they're just sort of like not mixing very well, and it's fine. It does that. So I'm gonna take a pan. See if I can clean up some of my mess here with this damp paper towel. Works. Moving my ingredients over. part of the problem is I have my food processor out because I'm going to use it and it's in the way. But it has to be here. I'll clean that up a little bit. Okay, so here's my pan. I'm going to spray the pan. Now, if you want to take the cake out of the pan, you probably want to spray it and then put down a like parchment paper. But I'm not going to take it out. I'm just going to serve it from the pan. So spraying it with the nonstick spray is plenty. Or you can use, you know, the butter or the Crisco and then the flour, and you can do it that way. However you want to grease your pan, you do it. So I'm going to take my batter here. And I'm going to take it off, and it's real sticky. Real sticky. And yes, it's just the way it is. Feels stickier today than normal. I don't know why. Put all the right ingredients in it. Super sticky and thick. Then you're going to put it in a 350-degree oven, and you are going to bake it for about 45 minutes. Then we're going to do our other stuff real fast. Okay, I got that cleaned off, sort of. I'm going to take a scraper, and you really have to scrape this to get it out because it's so thick. See? It's almost like cookie dough, really. It's almost like you're baking a real big, fat apple cookie. It's kind of a challenge to scrape it out. But you want a 9-inch round cake pan, not an 8-inch. If you do it in an 8-inch, it's going to take longer to bake, and what you will get is a cake that is too done on the outside, not done enough on the inside. So you really need to go to Walmart and get yourself a 9-inch. You can go to the aisle where they have the wedding stuff, where they have these cake pans that are for like making a wedding cake, and they have different sizes for making a wedding cake, like wedding cake layers. Get you one of those pans. You can get you a 9-inch, because the traditional cake pan is 8 inches. And I tried it in an 8-inch, and yeah, it kind of burned the edges. And the inside was, to get the inside done, you have to kind of burn the edges. So it's a little, it just doesn't work as well in an 8-inch. You can probably maybe cook it a little slower if you're going to use the 8-inch pan, maybe 325 or something. But I did try that, and it's a little done on the outside. Okay. Putting all the batter in here, getting it off of here. All right, there we go. Into the oven. But it's so hard to get off your fingers. It is so sticky. It is so good. This makes the moistest cake ever. Okay, so there we go, right there. I'll put this here in the oven. Set it for 45 minutes. There we go. Now, let's go over here and do some of my other stuff. First, I am going to, let's see if I can fix my, oh, that just popped right off. Oh dear. Hold on. Oh, I think it's cracked. Oh no, my little stand is not going to work now. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh. Well, let me undo it a little bit. Let me loosen it. Oh, no, maybe it isn't broken. Okay. Oh! There we go. I gotta pop it back on and then tighten it back up again. I got a little teeny tripod thing here, and it's kind of a cheapy-deepy thing. I'm gonna need a better one than this. This one was free, though. This one I was sent. Okay, here we go. The thing is, I gotta get it to stand back up again. I was just trying to get it. Oh, it's so not working. All right. Let's do it this way. come out that way. Oh yeah, I just had to twist it around. Okay, maybe. That's where I'm going right there. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my burner right here for I'm using the cast iron skillet because I only have one of the stainless steel. I'm going to put some butter in here and I'm going to make this squash. And I don't measure the butter, so 2 or 3 tablespoons of butter. Let's see where we're at here. I would say about 3 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to put that in your pan. Now I'm just going to put some cut up squash that I have already cut. Some cut up squash and onion in there. Then I'm going to do something new. That's going to be kind of fun. I do want to real quickly rinse off my squash here. I didn't do that before. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put this, well, let's get the butter moved all around. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and put my squash and onion in here. And that's all. I'm not doing a mixed one today, just yellow squash today. There we go. Get rid of that water. Then I'm trying to think, I might want to rinse this other afterward too. I think I am. Okay, so there we go. We are turned on. Now I'm going to put some salt. Again, I don't measure this. Sprinkle some salt. Sprinkle, I'm going to do this other pepper. I'm going to do this hot shot pepper that has a little bit of black and red pepper in it. I love this. See, red and black pepper, it gives a little kick to it. A little spice. If you don't want that, just use black pepper. Alright, so there we have that. We're going to stir this around. And we're going to saute our squash with the onion. It is so good with an onion, and it's really good if you cook it in butter too. Oh, makes it so good. So we have, the rest of our dinner today is roast beef, which the roast beef has just been cooked in the crock pot overnight for 12 hours on low. Take the roast beef, stick it in the crock pot, poof. I usually add like a 1/4 cup of water or something. Make sure it makes extra gravy. And then we're going to have rice. But what I'm trying to do with this cauliflower is I'm going to do what they call riced cauliflower. I've never tried this before, but this is what people do who are like on a keto diet. I am not on a keto diet at all. But my mom is wanting to reduce her sugar a little bit. And so not eliminate it, just like cut some things out where she can. And she's, I guess, gotten a paper from the doctor, I think, about these or some things, and it tells her to cut out carbohydrates. And she's like, what are carbohydrates? And I'm like, well, what has carbohydrates? I said, everything you eat. She's like, eats bread, and everything she eats has carbohydrates. Like, everything you like to eat, Mom. So she's like, well, maybe I can cut them down a little bit. So that's what we're working on. So rice has carbohydrates, and we always eat rice and gravy with roast beef. So I thought what we would do is, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me, that pepper got to me. So this is like a substitute for rice. And I'm going to lower this down, maybe. Maybe not that far down. Let's lower it. Oh, there we go. It's spinning in a circle. This little stand leaves much to be desired. This little thing is not working exactly how I want it to. So, I'm going to use the grater blade on my food processor. Put on the roll. There we go. Put this blade on to grate. That's what it says to do. I've not tried this before. And then I'm going to put on the lid, open up my little chute, and I've got all my cauliflower here chopped. This is a head of cauliflower, chopped into little pieces. So basically what you do with this is you pretend it's rice. And I guess you can put gravy on it. So I am putting this in here. And we're going to turn this on. noisy. We're almost done. Out at me everywhere. Okay, we're gonna turn it off. It's spitting everywhere. When you get down to the end, apparently. It's like a volcano. Oh my goodness. Okay, so like I said, I've never done this before. All right, let's see. Let's see what it looked like. It's coming out of that chute like. Oh my goodness. All right, so. Mom does not know I'm doing this. I have no idea if she will even want to try this or eat this. No idea. But I thought it was worth trying. I'll eat some of it. Now, she likes cauliflower. But she's liable to tell me, oh, I can't eat it. It's too gassy. That's most likely what I'm going to get. Can't eat it. I'd eat it, but I can't eat it. But we'll see. But I thought, well, maybe we can mix it half and half, if nothing else. And so it's like consistency more of rice. It looks to me, it looks like grits. But you can use it as rice instead of rice and put gravy on it. And I thought, like I said, since we've never done this, at the very least we can try half rice and half cauliflower or something. So I want to put it in. Now, from what I understand, what I've read, oh, look at this. What I've read is that you can do it raw, just like this, or you can saute it a little bit, make it more like fried rice. And I think I'm going to saute it a little bit just to try that. I think it'll be better than raw. I don't know. But it's like going to be gritty, kind of like rice. So I'm really curious. And of course, it's going to taste a little like cauliflower. But you're going to put gravy on it. I am so curious to see what this is like. I wonder if y'all have tried this. Have you tried rice cauliflower? Now, from what I understand, you can buy it already done like this and frozen in the store. But I've also read that doing it fresh tastes better. So I thought, well, let's don't. I think the one in the store they say can be watery. So I thought, well, let's get the one that tastes better. Let's start with the one that tastes better. Let's don't start with the one that may not taste as good. So I'm rinsing this off a little bit. Then I'm going to get a skillet ready here. Set it over there to drain. Get my other skillet turned on. And let's see if we can move you over a little bit. I got to move my plug. And I got to touch this thing again. A little frightening. Okay, here we go. Let's just do that. Plug you in. Let's check our squash. Oh, squash is just bubbling away. Very nice. Let me stir it a little. And just cook the squash till, you know, you're good with it being done. However you like it. And then I'm going to put, for this cauliflower, I'm going to put a little oil in the pan. Not much, but just a little. I don't know, like a teaspoon or something. And then you, like, saute it, I guess. This will be interesting. And it's going to be a little wet because let's use this flat one because I rinsed it. But let's see what we get. Okay, it's not even sizzling. This makes a whole head of cauliflower. I wonder if I need to do this in batches. I probably do. Because, man, it's going to fill up the pan. Okay, I got that turned on, so I'm just waiting for it to start sizzling. I think I'm going to add some salt to it because I would add salt if it was rice. There it goes. We're starting to sizzle. So I'm going to put a little salt. And then I'm going to get something to put it in. Oh, let's get be a little pan. Ooh, there we are, super sizzling. Okay. Let's turn it down a little. And then you just, from what I understand, you just stir it around. like this. And it kind of, well, kind of sautés it. This will be really interesting to see what it's like with gravy on it. But I guess this is what people who want to do a keto diet, this is what they do. Like I say, I'm not doing the keto diet. Mom's not doing it either. But we can just maybe incorporate a little bit. Oh man, I pulled it again. Trying to move stuff. Come on. This thing is getting to be more of a nuisance than anything right now. Okay. So, how was I going to put it in? Oh, I think I'm going to put it in this one. Here we go. Well, let's put it over here. There we go. So there, I've sauteed that around a little bit. You don't want it soft. You want it to be, you know, rice has some texture to it, so you want to keep some texture. So we will see if we can get Mom to eat any of this. Okay, so there's that. Let's do a little bit more. Touch more of oil. So we're adding a new batch here. And then let's add the rest. I think we can just do all the rest because I don't want to be here all day. There we go. A little bit more salt. And then we can pretend we have rice. Let's see. We will try to do half and half and see what that's like. And then I'm curious to see. I don't have the gravy here with me. It's going to be at Mom's house. I'm going to make it at Mom's, but she has the crock pot of the beef there. So we're going to see. And I'm sure she's made rice. And I'm sure she's going to say, oh, I don't want to keep all that rice. You're going to have to take some of it home. But she never puts salt in it. She forgets. And I don't want it because it doesn't taste good. So I will probably take it home anyway. Just so she'll be happy. That's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. Okay, here we go. Sauteing. Let's turn that on low. There we go. That's pretty much going to be it, I think. Not much to it. Let's take a taste. Do it. Feel that. Yeah, it has a little bit of a texture of rice. And it does. I mean, it tastes like cauliflower. But that's okay. Alright. It's going to be interesting. Apparently, you can do all kind of stuff with this riced cauliflower. You can add some Parmesan cheese to it and make a little, people make like pizza crust with it. But you have to be able to eat cauliflower. Do all that. Cauliflower is not your friend. Then that isn't going to work for you. There you go. There, kind of looks like rice. All right, and our squash is pretty well done. So I'm gonna turn that off. Our cake is in the oven, and so I am now gonna go do my makeup. So I will say so long for now. Have a great day. Bye.